What's up, guys? My name's Melo.
And I am Nino.
And we are the Fairly Godfathers.
We're gonna give you advice
You can't refuse.
All right.
Awesome! Nice save.
Yeah.
It's been a while since we recorded the last episode, so I think I'm getting a little rusty.
And for the record, I am not feeling well today. This is how much we love you. Even though we're not feeling well, we're not feeling 100%, we'll still record just for you.
That's true. If I'm trying to debate within myself whether or not I should let everyone know what's happening, but
No.
Okay, well, let's spare them the details. Okay, last week we discussed moving on, especially after being turned down by someone.
Yeah. And we discussed how to do it properly, what are the techniques, the various techniques, and based on our experiences with moving on.
The techniques include doing some exercise, separating yourself from the person. So if you want to go back to that, I'll place a link here in the comments so you can go straight to there. Okay. So this week's topic is let me clear my throat for a bit. It's more of discussing the insecurities. I have mine, and I'll share them a little later in the show.
I have mine as well. I'm gonna share how I dealt with it.
Yeah, okay. So, what is insecurity in the context that we're talking about? Insecurity in this case is the feeling of not being good enough, not being worthy of whatever it is.
Yeah. It's more of being ashamed of yourself, that you have things that you are not really proud of.
Things that you can't do, things you wish you could do.
Yeah, things you don't have.
Or wish you had.
Yeah.
And it comes to the point that it affects you as a person because it starts manifesting in not only how you feel, but also how you act.
And it more or less, it's a very destructive manner.
Yeah.
So, I guess we can sum it up something that is the feeling of unworthiness.
Yeah. I will agree. So, insecurity in the context of this episode will focus mostly on the feeling of unworthiness, be it about affection or other things such as your career, because insecurities are not entirely limited to relationships. It affects you in more ways than you think.
Not just with relationships with the opposite sex, but also with your family, your friends,
and
your
basically,
coworkers.
Yeah. And basically how you see things. Some people tend to be cynical because they're insecure about certain things, and that's not the ideal outlook in life. It creates for a very neurotic outlook. You're always constantly looking for the next thing that you have to defend yourself from. It's a very closed-off life you'll have to live if that's your mindset.
Although, let me just say that a little bit of self-doubt is not not harmful. It is actually beneficial because it checks how confident you are, so that you don't go overconfident.
Yeah.
But too much self-doubt is crippling, and it can ruin your personal life,
and your relationships, your reputation, your image. So let's get on to it.
Well, based on experience.
Based on experience, this is, I suppose, the part that I start sharing the things that manifested care of my insecurities.
Well, one thing first.
Yeah.
Insecurity is never attractive, ever.
No, not at all. Be it for a relationship purpose or a professional purpose, it is absolutely unattractive. And my story is mostly on the professional side of things. Because I'm trying to steer clear of any emotional attachments to the ladies for an indefinite period of time. This is my alone time. This is my rediscovering myself and finding what's out there by myself. And I am all right with that. There is absolutely no problem as far as I'm concerned. Although I do tell my friends that it would be nice if I find someone in the process of me figuring things out.
Yeah, but you're not actively looking for someone.
No, I'm not actively looking, nor am I going to make an effort to go and look. Because,
I guess that's fair.
Yeah, because I'm focusing more on my career as a host, or potentially TV host, or a DJ, and all those other awesome things. So, how does insecurity affect my performance as a host, as a podcaster with Ninong, and in my profession, in my line of work? If my insecurities start manifesting during interviews, especially during auditions, that will not land me a single job. Why? Let's go back, take a step back, and find out why I'm so insecure about being a host. Okay. I am a startup host. I've only had experience for about 2 years. As far as paychecks are concerned, it's only within the last year that I've been receiving my proper talent fee. Not complaining or anything, but that's how it really is. You start out from the bottom and you climb your way up. I'm now at the point wherein I'm trying to build the reputation, build the name, so I at least have that image, and I'm taking care of that. But the thing is, comparing myself to where I was 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I'm a whole lot better off. No doubt. I am getting paid in money, not thank yous. That's a huge step.
Yeah.
As a talent-based profession, that's a huge step. But if I compare myself to my peers, if I compare myself to my idols, to the ones I look up to, my skills are absolutely shitty. It's as simple as that. I am better in comparison to myself with regards to a couple of years back. But in the grand scheme of things, if I'm going to compare myself to the people that I look up to, I don't make half the money they make. I don't have half of their fan base, if that's a proper term for it. In short, I am not as successful as they are. And to be honest, it really does get to me from time to time. And when it comes to auditions, I cannot let that show. I cannot let that insecurity get me and gnaw at me while I'm staring my client right in their eyes and saying, "This is how much I'm worth. What's up?" So I don't really say that. I have to be more polite. I have to prove to them that I am worthy of the talent fee that I'm asking for. I am more than capable of delivering what is expected of me, and that these insecurities are something that, if anything, drives me to keep going. It's the insecurity that keeps me grounded in a way that prevents me from going too far, in being too ambitious from where I'm standing, but at the same time, it keeps me going.
Well, would it be fair to say that your insecurity is something that turns you into a better person? You use it as fuel, turn yourself into a better person.
I guess that's a way of looking at it.
Instead of, dwelling on it and just,
letting it just eat you alive and not do anything about it.
Yeah.
Because like I said in the last episode, it's all a matter of channeling all of this energy and figuring out how to use it in a more productive way. So when it comes to insecurities on a non-relationship level, that's where I'm coming from. I am very insecure with where I stand because I am not as good as the other people. I am not as good yet as the people I look up to, and I don't make as much as they do. If anything, it really helps me, like I said earlier, to stay grounded, but still aspire for something to keep pushing me to getting better. So there's that. That's my way of figuring out or dealing with that particular insecurity. But I'm going to tell a story later wherein failing to address an insecurity can really affect you.
Oh, wow.
But yeah, I have mine. So, Ninong, you have anything to share?
Let me just say that what you're experiencing right now is very similar with me and my friends as artists. Newsflash, I'm an artist.
What's up?
I'm an art teacher. And we as artists are very insecure of our work. we always compare ourselves to great artists like James Jean or me. For example, I like Michelangelo Buonarroti, and he's very, very good, even though he's very, very dead. But yeah, he's very, very good. And he made the Pieta when he was in his 20s, and I'm on my 20s, and I barely can't sculpt anything.
Okay.
And I compare myself to those artists, but most people would see us as
very talented.
Very, very talented people because we can draw, we can sculpt, we can do whatever it is. But for ourselves, we are very insecure. And I think that also applies to other people, like, for example, beauty.
Yeah.
Like, for example, normal girls would be insecure when it comes to pretty girls.
Yeah.
But pretty girls are also insecure with how they look. They are just as insecure as the normal-looking girls.
So it's pretty much safe to say that everyone's insecure, but the degree of their insecurity varies. And I guess it's a matter of who's comparing to whom. At this point in time, since I have my own insecurities, you have your own, and it's all a matter of it usually starts off because you're comparing yourself from something. In the case that we mentioned a while ago, I compared myself to my peers, or the ones I look up to who are more successful, and that makes me feel small as an individual, and it starts attacking my sense of identity. And it hurts. It hurts to realize that you're not as great as you think you are. Or you're not as great as you want to be. Or you think you should be.
I guess this is the part where we share our experiences.
More. I've already given mine on a professional...
My experiences. So,
level.
My insecurities. Let's see. Well, when I was about 9 years ago, I was very insecure in terms of my skill as an artist, because when I was in high school, I was the best in my school. So when I entered UP Fine Arts, suddenly everyone else is better than me.
Okay. I'll pause you here for a bit. With all of the details that you're giving out, people are gonna start piecing together and figuring out who you are.
Nah.
Kidding aside, going back.
But everyone's better than me, and that made me feel very, very insecure. Not to mention, everyone was richer than me. But that's another insecurity. Let's not dwell on it. Because there are there are two kinds of insecurity. There are things that you can change, and there are things that you can accept. We can discuss it later on. But in my example, being not well off is something that I have to accept. At that moment, because I still don't have financial power. But there's one thing I can change, and that's my skill level. So I trained a lot, I drew a lot, painted a lot, and little by little I got better and better until I think I gained confidence when it comes to painting. And I even won awards recently for painting. I'm not gonna say what kind of painting, because that's too specific. Okay. I won 2 awards when it comes to painting.
Congratulations, Ninong.
So there you go. So now I'm not insecure with my work. I know my worth, and that is where I get my confidence.
Okay.
I guess.
So the last couple of stories that we've been giving out is mostly on insecurities, dealing with them in a positive manner, and using them as leverage to make you feel better about yourself and not letting it get to you. Now on to the part we don't really enjoy talking about.
The things that you can accept.
The things that you have to accept about yourself, about who you are, and the insecurities that come with it. How do we go about this?
Well, let's face it. There are things that you are just born with.
That's
you
true.
Can change.
Okay, I guess I can start off with this. I am a very huge person. I am very big, not in a flattering kind of big, to the point that I don't find myself attractive. I am 6'1". I am now tipping the scales at about 230, 235. And that's a lot for a dude my size. According to science, my body mass index, whatever, I should weigh only at about 180. I have to lose around 50 pounds, yo. So as far as medicine is concerned, I am obese. Yeah. And I'm very sensitive when it comes to that, and it sucks. But I guess this is not the best example, but still. I've always been denying it. I've always taken it as... I've always looked the other way when it came to my weight. And I have photos from a year ago wherein I just looked so bloated. But my heart was broken, so I started exercising. What I was saying was that last year I was really big. I was bigger than what I am now. I think I was about 260, 265. And I chose to look away. I chose to disregard this particular problem. And it really did make me very insecure. It started manifesting in my relationship with my family, because they'd tell me that you're not healthy, da-da-da-da-da. And I'd always just say, you guys just hate me because I'm whatever. And I just brush it aside all the time. And it would come to the point that I'd have arguments with my mom because of it. When it came to relationships with other people, I was very sensitive to the point that I would always change the topic.
When it comes to
it comes to my weight. And in the off chance that it ever comes to that point. And I didn't really enjoy it. I didn't like it. I didn't like the feeling of always being on edge when it comes to that particular topic. So I started working on it. My heart was broken. I had to channel all of this energy out. And lo and behold, I enjoyed boxing. I enjoyed that, and it really helped out with the weight loss. So in terms of letting insecurities hit me, that's one of the bigger ones, no pun intended, that really got to me. And it's still something that I'm working on. In terms of having something, an insecurity or an attribute that you just have to accept, mine? What would mine be? You know what? While I think of mine, do you have anything?
Yeah, I think mine would be how I look. Wow.
Okay.
No. I think I look normal. I am not too handsome, but I am not too ugly. And that's my insecurity.
Okay.
Because I don't look handsome.
Okay.
I think, for now, I am on my prime. This is how...
This is as good as it gets.
Yes.
Okay.
This is my prime. That is so sad. But anyway, when I was a kid, I was uglier.
It's okay.
I was thinner. I have weird teeth. I have weird hair.
Okay.
And I stoop a lot. And it hurts. It hurt my... I was insecure. Let's just say I was insecure. And it manifested in my relationships with other people.
Yeah.
I always point it out. It didn't help well when I was courting this girl.
Okay.
And yeah, it was pretty bad. It didn't help me at all. As I have said, insecurity is never attractive.
Not at all.
And thing is, I can do something a little bit about it.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I can turn into Josh Hartnett in a heartbeat, or
it's so dreamy.
Or Johnny Depp. Just say Johnny Depp. I am just Ninong. I'm the coolest version of me I can possibly be.
Yeah.
Physically, but I'm still Ninong. I'm not Johnny Depp material. So what do? I just have to accept it. That's part of my... It's not a weakness per se, but it's part of who I am. This is how I look.
Uh-huh.
And I have other strengths. I am witty. I can draw. I can paint.
You're the host of this podcast.
Yeah, even though I suck as a host.
Nah.
It's a work in progress.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I'm working on it. I have other strengths. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I have other strengths. I can focus on those strengths and just leave how I look aside, because I can't do anything about it. I have done what I could with it.
Okay.
I have dressed up.
You have style. You have fashion. Yeah. You have skincare. You have everything else.
Everything else, but plastic surgery. No.
Yeah. Well, there's also that.
Well, I can't have plastic surgery. I'm fine with how I look.
Okay.
And
so it's a matter of coming to terms with that thing.
Yeah. I think what I'm trying to say is, if you have a quote-unquote weakness and you can't do anything about it, just accept it and focus on your strengths. It's like you play a lot of League of Legends, right?
Yeah.
And all of the heroes, they are not really perfect. Every
That's
hero
true.
has a weakness and a strength.
True.
So if your hero has a weakness, for example, he has low HP, can you do something about it?
By the way, for our non-gamer audience, HP means health. It is the basis of being alive.
Yeah.
If your HP drops to 0, you're dead, basically. And I guess what Ninong's trying to say is that each person, much like games like League of Legends, it's a varied cast. Everyone has their strengths, everyone has their weaknesses. And when you're trying to use a champion or a hero with low HP, meaning it can die fast, you have to be good at other things.
Well, you can also use items to boost your HP, but just to a certain extent.
It can only go so far.
Yeah, you can't be a super tank.
It's not built in. Okay.
Yeah.
Before we finalize everything, I did mention that I was going to share a story as to how insecurity can really get to you and really mess you up.
Oh, I love this story.
Yeah. There's a happy ending to it.
Yeah,
There is. Here we go. Back in high school, for some weird reason or the other, maybe I brought it upon myself, maybe I didn't, but then again, this is high school. A lot of people thought I was gay. I'm not even kidding. This is information that was relayed to me by the girls that I hung out with back in high school. Most of them have come to a consensus that Melo was probably gay. I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. It's sad.
Let me just share Melo, that I know the feeling. Because I also have a lot of girl friends. Not girlfriends, friends.
Female friends.
Female friends. And a lot of people also thought that I was gay because I hang out with girls a lot. So
pretty much the same thing.
Pretty much the same thing.
But my problem was, I let it get to me. It came to the point that I was so hell-bent on proving everyone wrong, to the point that I was pretty much shoving things down their throats to try and convince them that I'm not. But the thing is, it only came across as me trying to defend myself from something that should not have gone that far. I was trying to convince people, oh, I'm not gay naman eh. Oh, I'm not gay at all. What's the big deal? Blah, 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 blah. It came to the point, I think, that I pretty much alienated most of the people I knew because it wasn't pleasant being around me anymore, because the topic was always me trying to convince other people that I am not what they think I am.
You're being too defensive.
Yeah, exactly. And with that in mind, I lost a lot of friends. I didn't exactly enjoy myself at the time. And that was my problem. That was how I let that insecurity get to me. And it really did mess me up. Years and years later, I find myself wearing a French-made outfit. I'm not even kidding. It's on my Facebook page. Was on my Facebook page. Is in my Facebook page. And the internet fondly remembers me as Maid Macho. Very counterintuitive, if you ask me. Coming from the kid who was so hell-bent on trying to defend himself, defend his sexuality, convince other people that he's straight, to someone who's wearing a skirt, a frilly blue maid outfit with everything, and then a nurse outfit, and then a schoolgirl outfit.
I think I like the nurse outfit the best.
Goodness me, that was scary because I was wearing makeup on that one. And you know what? That didn't bother me as much because I learned to make fun of myself. I learned to beat people to the punch. That by the time someone tells me I'm gay, it's nothing to me.
I think it's more of because you're confident of your sexuality that even though they try to harm your sexuality, they can't.
It's just not gonna work anymore. Can't touch this. That's there's that. It's come to the point that with regards to that particular flaw that I had before, which was me being sensitive with my masculinity. Today, I joke about it. Yes, I do. Saying that the only thing that prevents me from being gay is the fact that I don't like penis. Yeah. I openly joke about that because I know that there's nothing that's gonna happen if I make jokes like that. It's pointless. If people think I'm gay, then it's fine. I have nothing to prove to anyone.
Mm-hmm.
It's none of their business. I am what I am. And coming from someone who was so defensive over that thing to someone who doesn't care about it anymore, so much so that he makes jokes about it openly. And this ties in beautifully with something that Tyrion Lannister said in the Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
I can't believe we're doing this, but we might as well. So, Ninong?
You remember Tyrion Lannister when he was talking to Jon Snow? If you've read the books, that's a really good scene.
Yes.
So he said, "Never forget what you are. The rest of the world will not. Wear it like an armor, and it can never be used to hurt you."
And so, this is... I'm sorry, I was cutting you off.
No. It's fine. So, with regards to Mel, I guess it's being called gay. Disclaimer, I don't think there's anything wrong about being gay.
No, we don't find anything wrong with it. It's more of...
We're just not gay.
That's about it. It's as simple as that. We love you. We love your rainbows. Yeah. Okay. So the line that said, "Never forget what you are, the rest of the world will not. Wear it like armor, and it can never be used to hurt you." For me, that applies a lot. It's freaking perfect. Of course, the premise of this line was that Tyrion was talking to Jon about being a bastard, as in the son of someone else's
illegitimate child.
Illegitimate child. There we go. About being an illegitimate child. So there's that. In my case, I used to be so insecure about my sexuality before, to the point that I'd go out and defend it, to the point that I don't even care anymore, to the point that I would just do whatever the hell I want, and if someone just so happens thinks that I'm gay, then whatever, that's not my problem, it's theirs. I know who I am, I know what my sexual orientation is, and that's it. I should not let it bother me.
Yeah, I guess if you are confident with who you are,
yeah,
what you are, and what you think you are, no one can hurt you otherwise.
Yeah.
The more defensive you get,
the more insecure hurts you.
Yeah, and it shows how insecure you are about yourself.
Yeah. Also, remember that everyone is insecure. Everyone has that one thing, at least one thing, that makes them feel bad about themselves or makes them question their worth. It seems like we've completely digressed from the topic.
Yeah.
Remember, everyone has their own hiccups. Everyone has their own hangovers. Everyone has their own hangovers. Try not to let it control you. Try. I'm not saying you can do it from the get-go. Try. And when you come to the point that you can wear that insecurity as armor, be it, say, being short, okay? Being short. People think it's a bad thing. But if you can beat someone to the punch about that attribute, they're gonna immediately know, oh, it doesn't bother her, so what's the point? Doesn't bother him, doesn't bother her, what's the point of bringing it up?
Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, and when it comes to insecurities, like I said earlier, it's not entirely limited to relationship or whatever. It's you as a person. You can be insecure about how you sound. Much like me, I'm very concerned about my singing voice. That's why I'm learning. I'm doing something about it. And those are ways in order to control the problem, or control the concern, the issue, the insecurity, is to do something about it. If it's something that can be worked on, like say I am fat, I will work on it. I will go to the gym so that I can empower myself and not let this insecurity eat me alive because I am the way I look. I'm going to do something about it, and when the time comes, I can just jokingly say, oh yeah, it was me before, all blobby and whatnot. for the things that you have to accept, I don't know. I really don't know how it happened.
With regards to things that you can't accept, it's more of we just deal with it. We just learn how to live with it.
Yeah.
It's not easy, especially if it's something that you really, really hate about yourself. Yeah. And it's something you really can't change. But yeah, you have to accept it. You have to deal with it in your daily life. Because if you don't, it will be destructive to your personality, to your relationships with other people.
I guess the moment you stop caring about it, the moment you stop adding value to that thing, like say me, I don't feel insecure with what car I drive, but I'm sure other people feel insecure about what they drive. Why? It's not because what I drive is fancy or anything. What I drive gets me from point A to point B. Same case with the other person, but this other person might add value to that thing. That's what they perceive to be success. That's what they perceive to be valuable in their life, to the point that they need to have it. They need to be one up everybody else so that they can feel better about themselves.
I guess because there's a image of themselves that they want to be.
Yeah.
And what they drive is not in accordance with that image.
Yeah. And right now, I'm a host. I'm very particular about how I sound. And I get really insecure when I listen to my recordings and they sound really bad. But to some people, it doesn't matter to them. It doesn't matter how they sound because they don't add value to it. They have other things they worry about, and how they sound is probably one of their last concerns.
Yeah.
There's that. So there is no one definitive insecurity for everyone. It's always going to be something that you value. And at the end of the day, all we can say is don't let it take control of your life. If anything, grab it by the horns and ride that.
You can even use it as something to make you as a better person.
True.
And with regards to insecurity in relationships, remember the greatest love of all.
Nako, what's this?
Yeah, the greatest love of all is loving yourself.
Okay.
Saying that you are worthy of love and affection, and like selling a product. Let's go back to episode 1.
Okay.
I said this in episode 1. How can others think you are worthy of being loved if you don't love yourself? How can you sell a product if you don't believe in it? If you are insecure about the product, how can you tell the other person that you should buy this product?
No, that's true.
So with that, I think we should wrap up the thing.
To wrap it all up, on my part, the worst thing you can do is to compare yourself. Yeah, I know. I said it. I've spent the entire podcast comparing myself to people who are far more successful than I am, comparing myself to other people who have it good. But then again, I shouldn't be doing that because I am just looking for trouble when I do that. It's the most neurotic thing that I can do. I can constantly compare myself to other people who are doing better than I am, or so I think, and look for things to nitpick on and make myself feel bad. So, if you are going to compare yourself with anything, only compare yourself with who you were a year ago, or a couple of days ago, or whatever, but always compare yourself only to yourself. Why? Because if you do that, you're only going to notice, well, I wouldn't say only, but you're going to notice how far you've come. Let's do that exercise now. And I will use myself as an example. 2 years ago, I started my hosting career. 2 years ago, I hosted an event in a very small mall in front of, God knows, around 100 people at most. And I didn't get paid. Goodness me. And I did that for 2 years. Small events, no talent fee, nothing. And then a couple of months back, a little around the time of November 2012, I started getting offers, job offers, for hosting in events. For the first time in my career, in the 3 years that I've been doing this, I got paid what was due. And it was great. It was being validated that, dude, Melo, you don't suck at life. You don't. You don't.
You have some worth as a person.
You have some worth. And that makes me feel a whole lot better about myself. Why? Because I can take this story, tell it to you guys, and tell you that comparing yourself only to yourself is the only way to go. Because if I compare myself to hosts like, say, Ryan Seacrest or I don't know anyone else. I'm sorry. I can't think of one right now. He has his own radio show. He has so many gigs. He's practically a celebrity and he's earning in dollars. Comparing that to where I am now is the worst thing I can do to myself. It's something I can aspire for, yes. But if I compare myself to that and be the end all of how I define myself as an individual, I have pretty much just committed emotional suicide. So, I repeat, don't compare yourself to anyone else. If you have to, compare it to where you were, and you'll notice how far you've gone as a person. Nino?
Well, I'll just repeat what I said earlier, that there are two things that you hate about yourself, and those are things that you can change, and those are the things that you have to accept.
Okay.
If you can change it, accept it. Sometimes you're just born that way. So you just acceptance is, I guess, the base part of being a better person.
If you can change it,
if you want to change it,
okay.
If it fits for the better,
okay,
change it.
Okay.
If you can't,
if you cannot,
you just have to accept it.
Okay. Sounds about right. So guys, this is what we have for now with the topic of insecurities. And if you'd like to send in your comments, your suggestions, do send them at the comment section down below. And if you'd like to keep in touch, follow me at melo.lazatin. Do subscribe to us here on SoundCloud and YouTube. Yes, we're on YouTube. Yeah. What's up? And if you have any other inquiries, such as hosting and whatnot, voiceovers, do hit me up at melo.lazatin@gmail.com. And I now also have my own URL.
Wow.
Yeah, progress. It's at www.melo.lazatin.com. Oh, yeah. All right, guys, my name's Melo.
And I am Nino.
And we are the Fairy Godfathers.